everyone, and welcome back to What's Next, Friend? My series where I catch everybody up on how I wound up staying in the military for 30 years or 33 years and what I'm doing since I've been retired. So, I've been talking about the bases, so I'm up to Osan Air Force Base, so I want to read you the card that Jasmine made me. If you don't remember, as a part of my retirement gift, because she served with me, she gave me these little cards that kind of told me what the assignment meant to her from her perspective, and so I'm going to read hers for Osan. She said, one of the best experiences ever. Turning 16 in South Korea was unreal. You booked that professional photo shoot for me, which was so much fun. She said, I loved your apartment and can still picture it so vividly. I actually lived in the, what was it called? The field grade officer housing, and it was kind of like a studio, or it's kind of like a one-bedroom apartment. Anyway, she said, I love going to the BX and getting the personal pan pizza Hawaiian style with hot sauce. If you know, you know. And then she said it was so good. She said, I would go back to Osan in a heartbeat. We loved Osan. From seeing Wicked to traveling to China and laughing at that video from the Great Wall. We went to the Great Wall of China. So funny. We actually saw Wicked for the first time there in Korea as well. It was such a privilege and a blessing. I also felt empowered teaching English to the Korean kids with you. If you know me, I volunteered every base, and I was teaching English to the Korean kids as she came along with me. She said, now what I miss most is Nobu, my introduction to the Korean barbecue. That place has no topped since. She said, no place has topped that place since. It still ranks one of the top 3 summers of my life. That's from my sugar bear. She loved it. When I first got that assignment, she did not love it. We were, I will never forget, she was like, why do you have to go? Because she was starting her sophomore year at a Hampton Christian. And, you know, it's in high school. You know, she don't have to move to high school, so she had to go to another high school. And so she wasn't really pleased with that. That was the first time I think me being in the military actually affected her in a way, even though I went on deployments and I went to Iraq and all these other places, which I don't know if I've done a deployment video. Maybe that'll be my last video. I'll just talk about all my deployments. But she didn't really understand why I had to move. But she got, you know, she's resilient, super smart, amazing kid, so she got over that part. But I'm glad that was one of the best summers of her life. This is so cool. And I did read these ahead of time, but it's just nice to revisit them as I'm talking to you guys. So what I'm going to be doing today, that was the intro to Osan. I'll be chatting about Osan, and I'm also going to be making a green juice. So I have apples. I should have had my stuff out, but I did not have my stuff out. So I apologize up front. I have cucumber. The whole cucumber, the 2 green apples, a couple stalks of celery, and I think I'm gonna throw some watermelon in there too, just so the watermelon doesn't go bad. We bought all this stuff at a farmer's market on Saturday, so I just don't want the watermelon to go bad. So I'm just gonna put all of that into the juicer as we talk about Osan. And while we're talking about Osan, I'm waiting for my webinar to start for Sundance. So I plan to volunteer for the Sundance Film Festival in 27, like January 27, and we have like a information session that's supposed to start here in about, 15 minutes. So we'll see how this goes. All right, so Osan. Osan is a pivotal assignment for me for multiple reasons. First, that's where I met my bestie. That's where I met Tiffany. Tiffany and I, we met each other at the airport. Actually, I was on my way to pick up Jasmine for the summer. And so we were just hanging out in the airport there. The airport in Seoul, Incheon, and she's so beautiful. I was like, oh, she's so pretty. I can't remember what we started talking about, but we just started chatting then and there. And she was going her way. She was visiting back home. I was going to pick up Jazz, and we just kind of hit it off. We exchanged numbers when she got back from her trip and I got back from my trip. We started hanging out. And I don't know, she's just one of the fanciest people. Like she is my friend that introduced me to like makeup and skincare. She is Blasian, so she grew up understanding the importance of skincare. Her mother made sure, and she's just like one of those stunning people. Just everywhere she goes, people just comment on how beautiful she is. And she was just so nice and so sweet. And because she's Blasian, she also speaks Hangul. And so it was just nice to be able to travel around Korea with someone who spoke the language. And there'd be times when I would be lost, or I'd be in a cab somewhere, and I would just call her and say, Tiffany, can you please tell the driver that I need to go to X, Y, and Z? And she would be like, oh my gosh, Kim, you can't do. I'm like, Tiffany, please help me. And she helped me. Also, very important, Osan. That's where baby Otis came into my life. Now, if you know me, you know I love dogs. Like, one of my goals for this retirement is to get my own dog and love him and live with him forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Baby Otis was Tiffany's dog. Tiffany actually got baby Otis in Osan, and I loved him so much. He was so cute. I wish I knew how to edit, because I would insert photos of him, because he was just the sweetest boy ever. Yeah, Osan. So that's where, you know, my relationship with Tiffany, my relationship with Otis started. I also, while I was there, in terms of like work and understanding work, I pinned on major there. And I don't know if I shared with you guys, me getting promoted to major, I had to meet a board, and it was the only board that I met for promotion where I received a definite promote. And like, so military folks will understand what this means. And I think now officers don't even have to go through the board to get major. But back then you did. And so that was so I got promoted. So essentially, as an officer, I got promoted as, well, you get promoted from second lieutenant to first lieutenant to captain, and then to major. Major is when you become a field grade officer. And then I made lieutenant colonel and colonel as well, all of those without that definite promote. So that major rank for me was a really big deal. So I made it my purpose in life to finish all of my professional and military education before I pinned it on. And that kind of became a little goal of mine. Like, once I get selected for the grade, if there's associated PME, professional military education associated with it, I try to take care of that before I pin on the grade. So yeah, that's Osan. Another thing about Osan, I enjoyed my time there. I made a point to travel. Like, I saw Lenny Kravitz in concert there. I saw Elton John in concert there. So I really, really made the most of my time there in Osan. And I had some really cool friends. Like, Tiffany is amazing. We're still besties to this day. And I also met some really cool friends that I'm friends with still to this day from Osan. Like, that assignment was really beneficial to me for multiple reasons. Like, I'm still friends with Jen and Jess, and these are, like, you know, superstar rock star girlies. Not that the rest of my friends aren't superstar rock star girlies, but when I say superstar rock star girlies, I'm talking about, like, from the military standpoint, like if the military considers superstar rock star girlies. So yeah, Osan was great. I worked a lot with the Korean nationals, like our counterparts, ROCAF. I also got, like, I got a tattoo while I was there. I got this tattoo. I don't know if you can see. That tattoo I got there. Saw Barack Obama get elected for the second time there. I mean, I don't know. I just had a really good time at that assignment. Like, no one can make me regret or hate Korea, you know? And like Jasmine said, I would go back. We did, and I don't know if I shared this with you guys, but we did just go back we went back to Japan for her 30th birthday because she was born there, but then we also visited Korea. And just so nice. I loved it. So, yeah, that's Osan. Quick and easy. Great time. Pivotal assignment. Pivotal? No, pivotal. Lord have mercy. Pivotal assignment. I had a blast. I enjoyed it. I grew as an officer. And I made some really lasting friendships there. Yep. Next up will be Langley Part 2. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.